Hi. And I'm going to begin with a bow. I invite you to bow also. A little hard to believe that we're already at Unit 12, but there's no denying it. Here we are. This week we take a look at transpersonal states of consciousness, transpersonal experiences. So we continue our focus on the content of transpersonal psychology. Now, last week in our look at spiritual emergency, we were also focused on transpersonal content, a particular type of transpersonal experience. And I appreciate the discussion and the explorations from last week. This week we are going to take that and expand it out. And actually, there's several themes that came up in the discussion last week that will come up again this week. Some of the underlying themes, for example, some of the discussions of psychedelic-induced transpersonal experience. There are positive sides, there are potential difficulties in the context of spiritual emergency. You'll see there's a way to come back to that this week. We talked about shamanic initiation as being in many cultures an example of a spiritual emergence that also has these qualities of positive disintegration and breakdown. So this week there are also some readings on shamanic experience. And so you'll see, I think, that this week takes what we began last week and expands it out. I think it's fine because for so many people, it's the content of transpersonal psychology that first gets them interested in it. And even for a lot of people, what finally defines transpersonal psychology. So it's people's interest in unpacking and understanding and really coming to peace with their own transpersonal experience. And that defines, or at least opens them to the possibility of the field of transpersonal psychology. So we're going to take a look at this this week. A broader look at transpersonal content. Now, I think there are three different approaches we can take. The first is to share our own transpersonal experiences and to read more widely others' accounts of their transpersonal experiences. So this is the phenomenological approach. A second approach is to look at the common themes across a variety of transpersonal experiences and their differences, to compare and contrast. This means articulating transpersonal experience. This means some degree of analysis along with some kind of synthesis of the commonalities and differences. The third approach is to step back from any particular transpersonal experience to examine the role of transpersonal experiences in the field. What are the advantages of talking about transpersonal experience, of analyzing and looking for common ground among transpersonal experiences? What are the advantages of this kind of approach? And what are the limitations and even dangers? And again, this is also a question that we began last week when we looked at spiritual materialism and the appropriation of transpersonal experience. So three levels of analysis: the phenomenological, an analytic kind of approach, and a meta approach that asks the questions about transpersonal experience. I'll say that again. A meta approach that asks questions about the analysis of the immediate experienced phenomena of transpersonal experiences. This week, we're going to focus more on the second and the third, not so much on the experiences themselves. I would say we're all pretty lucky that we have opportunities to do that sharing. I certainly don't want to exclude it. So if you feel like it's important in your sharing to talk some about your personal experience or experiences that you've observed, that's fine. But mostly I want to take a look at how do we understand these experiences and what are the advantages and limitations of applying such an approach. So I hope that's clear enough, and I look forward to our discussions online this week. So I'm going to bow. See you online.